technology companies, popularly called fintech, and mobile application lenders will threaten debtors for failing to repay their loans. Some of those companies were found culpable in defaming or defrauding vulnerable Nigerians using certain applications. The federal government announced in April this year that loan apps on the Play Store will no longer be able to access users' contacts or photos from May 31st, 2023. It's a policy in line with the government's recent effort to prevent loan apps and loan firms also from invading customers' privacy. The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission had recently registered 170 loan apps out of 200 operating in Nigeria. On the pages of the dailies newspapers, we read heart-wrenching stories as a result of taking loans from these fintech companies. Bank staff we saw headlines like bank staff pushes debtor's wife to death. Woman sells baby for 600,000 naira to offset bank loan, and other non-palatable stories. Some fintech companies sent life-threatening messages to the debtors and defaming messages to the contacts of the debtors. So, my question to you Nigerians, to you Lagosians, and all our listeners, have you been involved in this? Share your thoughts, share your experience with us today on the program when we open the phone lines. My guest today is Titilope Ibilola. She is a zero debt advocate, debt coach, convener, Zero Debt Network. She's a sales maven and finance guru. She has over 15 years experience in corporate Nigeria, where she provides advisory services to small and medium scale enterprise and businesses on issues bordering on loans, sales, sourcing, raising capital, and business structure. She has a degree in communication and language arts from the University of Ibadan. Her depth of multi-layered experience covers business development, sales, marketing, communications, relationship management, and strategy within the finance sector. She's passionate about helping people make better finance decisions, as well as helping small businesses grow and thrive. That's Titilope Ibilola. She'll be our guest this morning. Now that I've done this preamble to the major conversation this morning, let's dash on a brief break. And when we return, we'll jump into our conversation of the morning. Do stay with us. It's on record where every word matters.
Babe, I want to surprise my guy with a good treat. Where would you recommend?
Girl, I've got the perfect place for you.
Are you sure?
Yeah, my family and I were there not too long ago. It was fantastic, and the kids loved it. The apartment was home away from home, the ride, swimming pool, 3D cinema, and the food. Oh my gosh.
Where's this place now?
It's High Impact Planet Amusement Park and Resort, my dear. It's just away from Lagos, and it has everything you need to relax and have unlimited fun.
How do I make bookings?
Oh yeah, call this number 0814-229-9509. Wait, are you booking a suite?
Why?
So I can tag along,
Nikini.
High Impact Planet Amusement Park and Resort. Fun just got real.
If it's public opinion, expert analysis, information that matters to you, we have it on record. Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. on High Impact 102.1 FM. Call us 0700-1021-1021. WhatsApp 0907-224-5018.
Welcome back, and many thanks for joining us on the program. I told you earlier on, Titilope Ibilola will be joining us, or she's actually with us right now on the program. She is a zero debt advocate, a debt coach, convener, Zero Debt Network, and we are talking about issues surrounding borrowing from unlicensed loan apps, and of course some of the travails that Nigerians have gone through. Miss Titilope Ibilola, good morning and welcome to On Record.
Good morning, and thank you very much for the invite.
You're welcome. It's good to have you this morning with us. Now, going to our conversation this morning, while I was looking through your bio and your book that is out, teaching people how to deal with loans, business, and finance, and it occurred to me that you actually went through the same. In fact, it was your experience that that caught me, that led to. It says your experience contributed to writing that book, if not the major reason why you wrote that book. So it is said that debt in itself is not a bad thing, because even the rich, or should I say the stupendously rich, are indebted to banks to the tune of hundreds of millions of naira. Whilst getting into debt is easy, getting out is not always a sweet experience. You are a debt survivor yourself. Can you briefly narrate your experience?
Okay, so I would start by saying that experience, the debt experience, is not one that I would wish on anybody. But before I dive into my experience, let me just say that taking a loan and being in debt, two different things. If you take a loan, it's expected that you pay back the loan within the period with which yourself and the creditor have agreed. If you exceed that period, then it means that you are in debt. So you can have a loan, you can have a good income, you can have a good cash flow for your business, but you have taken a loan and you're making your repayments when they are due.
Okay.
When you do not make your payments when they are due, that is when it becomes debt. So, the debt experience, you have borrowed money. Now, you owe one person or even multiple people. And you either don't have a cash flow to meet that obligation, or your cash flow is not enough to meet that obligation. I've been at different points on this particular journey. I've been no cash flow and owing, some cash flow, and the debt obligation is more than the income that I have over for the period of the duration of the facility, and even being a creditor, because I've worked in finance houses, I've worked in banks, so I've been on the other side. And the point where you have debt and you don't have any source of income, that point is a very low point. I got to that point, I was owing close to 20 million with no income. And
with no income.
It was a very difficult time with no income. And it was a very difficult time. I struggled to quickly get back to work, but jobs were not as forthcoming as fast as I wanted them to come. And so I had to lean on my family to help me. And in the event that one does not have help from anywhere, and one does not have family who can support, and the creditors are not ready to listen or take no for an answer, they just want their money, and they want their money right now. What do? I've been dealing with a lot of people in situations like that, and I can tell you that nothing can get you closer to suicide than being in debt and having no hope or no place to get money to repay that debt.
So, how did you overcome this? How were you able to raise money to clear up that debt?
Lifestyle changes.
Lifestyle
I
changes.
need many lifestyle changes. Yes. And anyone who is in debt is going to have to make many lifestyle changes.
Okay.
Lifestyle changes, family support. Yes, I had to get back to getting a job.
Okay, so when you say lifestyle
was
changes, what exactly do you mean by that? Would you want to, let us into what you actually meant by lifestyle changes?
Okay, so lifestyle changes, I would start by cutting down on everything that is not a necessity.
Hmm.
Everything, and I mean everything. The only thing that is compulsory that you do is you eat, you wear clothes,
Hmm.
and you live somewhere. So if you have taken care of those three things, everything else is really a luxury.
Hmm.
If, for example, where you live is above your pay grade,
Hmm.
then I would suggest moving to somewhere that is more affordable.
Hmm.
Because you have a lot of people holding on to apartments that they're clearly not able to afford
Hmm.
and struggling to pay the rent. When if they just said, okay, this is my reality right now, let me move to somewhere that I can afford without stressing. It may stress you, meaning you may have to wake up earlier to go to work. You may have to do a number of other things that you ordinarily wouldn't do.
Hmm.
But I always say that if you look at the bigger picture and you look at time and the time that you have to spend on earth,
Hmm.
would you rather not stress yourself now when you're young
Hmm.
than when you're old? If you cut down on those things, cut down on your living expenses, move your children. I've had people whose children are in school on the island
Hmm.
who know that if they only made a move to somewhere on the mainland,
Hmm.
school fees is cheaper, food is cheaper, accommodation is cheaper. They would be able to, struggle for maybe 2-3 years and then come back. But they just keep holding on. And they're in debt and they ordinarily cannot live here. They should just take that lifestyle change
Hmm.
and move and then come back when you're more comfortable.
Okay.
Because the island is going nowhere.
Hmm. Okay, thank you very much. Now let's take it to another level. This talking about loans. In some years past, we know are very very conversant with the procedure that banks, even at that time, loan apps and fintech companies were almost non-existent. We only knew of the conventional financial institutions, the banks that give loans, and they are even very, very selective to the kind of people they give loans to. Businessmen who are doing very well, who have regular income, who have, rapid turnover of whatever the business they are engaged in. And even at that, they help businessmen to present collateral so that they can use to get back their money when those businessmen default in paying their loans. But over the years, at that particular time, there were very, very few people that go for loans. But over the years, because of the development and because of technology, fintech companies and loan apps have, sprung up. The number of people that collect debt, has grown wider. The margin has grown wider, and some of these loans, they don't. Nobody needs collateral. Does it mean that the contact list that exists in people's phone are what actually replaced the collaterals at this point in time? Or how do you perceive it?
I like your question.
Thank you.
I like your question. So you're saying that does the contact list replace collateral?
Mm.
So for them, what I think the strategy is shame. They know that for us as Africans, money is a big pain point, and people are ashamed of their status in society. We have, kind of attached money to a culture of shame. In fact, people who have money are not even exempted from shame, from being shamed. If you see someone that you expect to be at a certain level, and the person, comes out with a type of car, you just say, I thought this person was so and so and so. Why is he driving this type of car? We attach shame to money a lot.
Okay.
So that strategy is to use shame because they have access to your contact.
Okay.
Then they use the shame, the fact that they've shamed you, you're forced to repay. So it's not replacing collateral. In fact, for those ones, I actually believe that is a gamble.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Now, when one borrows from a loan app, let's go to these loan apps because they are going to really form, notwithstanding the fact that our time is fast spent. These loan apps, when one borrows from these loan apps, excuse me, please. When one borrows from these loan apps and is not able to pay back, the fintech companies send life-threatening and defamatory messages to debtors and their contact list. First, how do they get the contacts of the debtor, and how should the debtor pay back after such defamatory statements, such defamatory letters or messages that has been sent to the contacts in the list, hoping to get back their money on time, deploying such tactic?
So I would say that because it's an app, once you download the app on your phone, there's some permissions that you give to the developers of the app that allow them to access even things that they should not access. I've spoken to a couple of tech people who have told me that some of these apps, they're phishing apps, such that they can go in and access even information that you don't give them a right to access because you have downloaded them on your phone. And I'd honestly advise a lot of people to not download those apps because we have seen them go into people's galleries to take out pictures that they shouldn't even have access to and circulate those pictures, nude pictures, that nobody in his right thinking sense would give anyone access to on their phone. But they would go in, take those images, and send them out and label you all sorts.
Okay.
And I know the FCC has been on their case.
Yes.
NIDA has also been on their case. There are a number of regulations. But from what I am seeing and the information that I have, these FCCPC and NIDA regulations is not stopping anything. They're still going as fast and as hard and as strong as they have been. In fact, last week, someone on my Telegram support group said they circulated her picture and wrote that she had passed and that she died a death door. And they sent this message even to her pastor. And my response to her was, well, dead people don't pay no debt.
Okay.
So if they say you're dead, that means they have written off your debt.
Yes, thank you for making that particular reference. I equally know of someone who went through the same ordeal, but the loan app operators actually sent his information out that he had contacted HIV/AIDS and he was, isolated in one of the medical centers in Nigeria, but he ran away as a result of that. And when they sent that to lots of his contacts, so the person started, going about to clear himself. When these are very, very damaging information.
No, I can't.
Hello, are you there?
Okay, I couldn't hear you clearly.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me clearly now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I was equally making reference to someone who went through that ordeal, the example you gave, and that the loan app operator said he was down with HIV/AIDS and he had to run away from an isolation camp, medical facility, that he is on rampage, that people should avoid him. They sent that to a number of his contacts. These are very, very damaging information. These people, and it looks as if these loan apps, they do not have an office, physical office that one can go to. They are just online doing their business. how can the government itself take action against people who have violated the law or businesses who are violating the law without a presence?
This issue of the government clamping down on them is one that is very, very dear to my heart. And I really wish that we had a more proactive rather than reactive government.
Okay.
I've engaged with the FCCPC, and so Mr. Tunde Irukera, who is the head of the FCCPC, is someone that I have related with.
Okay.
And he knows the work that I'm doing, and I just try to advocate as much as possible to increase awareness and just find a solution, see how I can help. In other countries, I know that in Kenya, they were banned completely because of this same issue. I know that even in China, and it will shock you to know that a number of these loan apps, not only do they not have physical offices in Nigeria, they are not even owned by Nigeria. A lot of them are owned by the Chinese, and the head offices of those loan apps are in China, not in Nigeria.
Okay.
But surprisingly, they all have Nigerian bank accounts, and their monies are getting moved through the bank
To China.
So while I don't know where they're moving those accounts to, because they're with banks, you really don't have access to going to check where these monies are going to. But if an app is owned by Chinese and they have a bank account in Nigeria, then there must be some form of KYC that was done on that account at the time of opening.
KYC.
So who really, yes, know your customer, because the bank must take an address before you open a corporate account in a bank.
Okay, so that means the Nigerian banks cannot be...
You know where your office is.
Yes, that means the Nigerian banks cannot be exempted from this as well.
Exactly.
Good.
Exactly. And you mentioned at the beginning that the inflation rate is so high, and the poverty level is so, I don't even know what to say. And people are desperate. People need money. And so if this is an option, they would assess it. And then you make the barrier to entry so low. All I need to do is download an app, and someone will give me 5,000 naira. A man that is hungry will look for 5,000 naira.
Okay.
And then when he has eaten, 2 weeks later, his picture is all over all his contacts. They even go as far as hacking into people's Facebook to send messages. They go very low.
Yes.
They go very low. And I worry a lot. I worry because if the government is silent and allowing people to oppress its citizens, then I don't know how low and how secure even those of us who would not access this kind of apps are.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, the time is 9:30 a.m. We are going to briefly go on a break. Our conversation this morning has been with Titilope Ibilola. She is a zero debt advocate, debt coach, convener, and zero debt network. Titilope, please stay on the line. We'll briefly go on a break, and when we return, we'll take our conversation to the next level. It's on record where every word matters. However, when we return from this break, the phone lines are opened already. So my question to our guests, or I beg your pardon, our listeners who are at home is, have you borrowed money from loan app before? Share your experience with me today. And you can call into the program without telling your name. You can be anonymous. And the number to call is 0700-1021-1021. That is 0700-1021-1021. You can send WhatsApp message to 0907-224-5018. 0907-224-5018. We'll go on a break, and when we return, our conversation continues. Mr. Bilola, Titilope Bilola, please stay on the line. Thank you.
Do you know bad production can kill a great content idea?
Do you want to have a photo shoot, audio production, or do you need a professional voiceover artist?
Do you simply want unmatched cinematography, video production, or just event coverage, such as weddings, birthdays, or burials?
Or do you need a space for meetings or conferences? All these are possible with High Impact Studios. Don't bring down your creativity, let's help you take it high.
And out of this world with our state-of-the-art equipment and first-class studio space.
We give you the quality you deserve at the best rate.
For more details, call 0706 393 5694 or 0915 958 1881. High Impact Studios, the future.
If it's public opinion, expert analysis, information that matters to you, we have it on record Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. on High Impact 102.1 FM. Call us 0700 1021 1021. WhatsApp 0907 224 5018.
Welcome back. Many thanks for joining us on the program. It's on record where every word matters. Welcome once again. My conversation this morning has been with Titilope Ibilola, a zero debt advocate, debt coach, convener, Zero Debt Network, and we have been talking about the roles of loan apps and fintech companies, some of them making life miserable for Nigerians, and we having conversation on how this particular menace can be addressed. Now, good morning once again and welcome to the program, Madam Titilope. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, welcome back. Now,
Thank you.
let's go to another part of our conversation. On August 17th, the National Information and Technology Development Agency, NITDA, slammed Soko Lending Company, a Nigerian online lending platform, with a fine of 10 million naira for privacy invasion. This was after a series of complaints against the company for unauthorized disclosures, failure to protect customers' personal data, and defamation of character. Okay. A key basis for the fine that that was issued against the company was for privacy invading messages to defaulting customers' contracts when they did not pay back the loans. It said that this clearly violates Article 2.2 of the Nigerian Data Protection Regulation, which bans illegal data sharing with third parties without a legal basis. Now, the thing is, most Nigerians are completely unaware of this particular law. And so when the loan companies adopt these illegal routes to recoup back their loans from Nigerians by slammed and defamed their names on social media and other platforms, they don't know how to go about it. So is there a right procedure for these persons to take? Hello, Ms. Timid.
To seek redress?
Yes, to seek redress.
Okay. Yes, the FCCPC is actually Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission.
Okay.
One of their responsibilities is to protect the consumers. NISDA is also the information and data agency that manages what access apps have to individuals. So usually I would advise that we send an email to FCCPC. Although in recent times we know that not much is being done even when they receive these emails, because Nigeria is a large country.
Yes.
We have a lot of people. On my support group alone, I've interacted with over 4,000 people who are in debt to these type of loan apps. So I can only imagine the kind of numbers that the SPC, PC would be seeing, the kind of emails. I'm sure that their email boxes will be full every day because these loan apps actually go to very unethical levels, and there's quite a lot of loan apps. New ones are coming into the country every day.
Yes.
Every week I update a list, and I have a very lengthy list, and you hear that they shut this one down. Tomorrow they change their name and they come back again because there's a market and there's money being made. So they're picking all of the available money in the economy into these loan apps. So the interest rate is outrageous. So I can only imagine that FCCPC is one.
Okay.
And so maybe the government needs to consider something else.
All right. If the government is going to fight this, it's not going to do it with it cannot be successful in tackling this issue without involving the Nigerian banks themselves. So, whilst you were talking to us earlier about the possibility of the connivance with some of these foreign companies with Nigerian banks to create an account, and another source of concern is how money is filtered away through this account to the bank, to the particular companies that operate these app stores that are not Nigerian companies. In this sense, how can the government deal with a thing like this, using the Nigerian banks as a platform to arrest the menace?
That would have actually been the first, should have actually been the first strategy if the government really cared, in my opinion.
Okay.
Because, like I said, you cannot open a bank account in Nigeria without including information about who is behind that account and addresses that we can trace these individuals to. So if we're serious about clamping down on these loan apps, all you need to do is, what accounts are they receiving money to? Get a list of those accounts and find out who are these people behind it. I know FCCPC tried to regulate them. They licensed about 179.
Yes.
But we have much more than 179 operating in Nigeria. And they're still operating. And like I said, new ones are coming in every day. So I really want us to, I think the onus is on the government, because there's little or nothing that an individual can do. I'm sure you heard about the incident of the woman who was killed 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
By some microfinance, some microfinance
bank officials. Yes.
I have the woman's daughter in my DM. I've spoken to her, and you won't believe that this woman died because her husband was owing a microfinance bank 75,000 naira.
75,000 naira.
Yes, 75,000 naira is what the husband was owing the microfinance bank, and this woman died because of that.
Okay. So this particular agency you mentioned about the Federal Consumers Consumption Protection Agency, including the National Information and Technology Development Agencies, do they need to be cajoled when a news like this are filtered into the air for them to take the necessary actions? I know maybe the Nigerian police would have been involved, and they may be doing something on their part. Okay, I just wanted to know that. So what are the other experiences that this particular woman's daughter explained to you?
Well, right now, this woman's daughter, nothing is happening, so nobody's picking it up. I'm considering it, but I don't know what the impact and what the outcome of what can I do. I'm just a lone Nigerian who has been there, done that, and just felt, you know what, people don't need to die because of this. Death shouldn't be the end of anyone's life.
Okay.
And unfortunately, this one has come to an end. And
all right. To Botin, apologies to Botin. Now, would you recommend that the National Assembly intervene in this by placing a ban on this loan apps and these fintech companies in order to maybe establish a very, very strong mechanism of controlling and regulating their activities?
yes, I would recommend that the National Assembly definitely looks into this and put some control measures in place. I cannot deny that these loan apps have come and they have filled a gap in the market,
Okay.
which is quick access to
The finance,
cash.
the money, yes.
But if the interest rate far out exceeds the benefit,
Mm.
then of what purpose? If the negatives exceed the positives, then really there's no benefit. So it needs to be regulated. We cannot allow them to continue to operate unregulated. That's my point. That's my standpoint.
Okay. I believe the government is listening, and hopefully the new administration that is coming into place, and of course the new National Assembly, the 10th Assembly, is also listening. Titilope Ibilola, our time is fast spent and it's up this morning, but before I go, I would still like to just give one more question that I expect for you to respond in between just 1 or 2 minutes, so we can finally call it a day. And the question is, for what's looking at that you rightly mentioned as well that these loan apps have helped some people with their financial challenges. You say there is a market for them, though it has also brought harm. Now, there should not be an outright ban on the operations, but the government should establish the right mechanism to regulate these banks. However, let us look at it from the human angle too. Within the shortest period of time that we have, some people collect loans for reasons best known to them, and sometimes, if not most times, they intentionally refuse to pay these loans. Some of them go as far as destroying their SIM cards that they use in obtaining those loans because they feel they don't want those fintech apps to find them or get in touch with them anymore. How do you address that issue?
Okay. So, like I think I've mentioned it earlier, that I think what they do is more of a gamble than
Okay.
an actual business strategy. Because if you're in business and you have a product to give out, you should have a mechanism for collection.
Okay.
It shouldn't be every Tom, Dick, and Judy that walks up to you that can access
Hello.
your facility. There's KYC, know your customer, that every credit person will tell you the 5 C's of credit. You must assess my character first. You must collect the collateral from me. You must understand what I want to use this money for. You know, there must be conditions to this facility. And I'm struggling to remember the 5th C, even though I know it. But there are ways to give out money and collect them back. You cannot give out money to someone just because they download an app. You must be able to trace this person. You must truly know who this person is. There must be a form of recovery mechanism for you. So, if you're just giving out money without any recourse to the borrowers,
Yes.
then how do you truly expect to get your money back? Are you a gambler? Are you just saying, okay, I'll give 1,000 people, maybe 700 will pay back, and then the remaining 300, I will hound them and hound them. Maybe of that 300, another 100 will pay back. Is that a strategy? That's not a business strategy. So I think that the loan apps also need to go back to the table.
Okay.
And sit down and ask themselves, what exactly are we doing? Is this a strategy?
Okay.
Is this working? Because I interact with a lot of people who are in debt. I've met people who collect from 100 loan apps.
100.
How on earth is he going to pay back?
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. And that's where we call it a wrap today. Titilope Ibilola is a zero debt advocate, debt coach, convener, Zero Debt Network. We had a conversation this morning about borrowing from unlicensed loan apps and the menace they've been constituting in the society. Thank you so much for your time, Ibilola, Titilope Ibilola. Hello.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're very much welcome. Looking forward to having you again some other time. Hopefully to be live in the studio with us.
Okay.
Great.
I
And
look
that's
forward to that.
yeah. Oh, thank you very much. And that's where we call it a wrap this morning. I am Oyin Priye Krumalemeni. Thanks for listening. Lagos, Nigeria. Good morning.
Mayday, mayday, children.